Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we are jumping down into the charts to take a look at what has been going on most recently with XRP and what I expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community, talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free to join, so why not go ahead and check it out? I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. If you're looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, also in the description down below you'll find links to our Patreon. Go ahead, check that out. It's pretty much self-explanatory with the kind of things that we're offering there, so why not check that out as well if you're just looking for that little bit extra from Cheeky Crypto. So let's jump into this, right? So XRP paired up with USDT, hourly chart, Binance as our data source here. Now, essentially, if I zoom out a little bit, we've been tracking this downward move pretty much since 93 cents, just up here. Okay, essentially, we had some complex corrections that were going on, specifically in this little triangular wedge right here. We obviously spoke about that pullback at the time, and of course, the bounce. Now, the bounce actually was a little bit lower than expected. I think I had this up towards this yellow line about 86 cents. We actually, failed to kind of go as high as that. We actually landed this at about 85. And then, of course, we've got the recent pullback that we've seen in the space, pretty much driven from Bitcoin and the kind of stuff that's been going on in the United States around, regs and I guess the Fed just really and generally what they're trying to do by offloading and whatnot. So essentially, we've got quite, an interesting kind of correction, but it is exactly what it is, a correction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this, right? So essentially what we've got is we've got 3 waves this side, okay? We've got 3 waves up, and this is looking like 5 waves down. And so essentially this wave structure is a corrective wave structure, which is known as a 3-3-5 corrective pattern. Okay, so basically we have 3 waves come down, A, B, C. We have 3 moves up, A, B, C, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down. Okay, so that gives us a bit of a foundation as to what this correction is looking like and why we kind of call it a correction. I'll go into the higher timeline in a moment. So when we get down into this, we can actually see that we've been tracking wave 1, wave 2 up high, the impulsive move back down into this low range here of wave 3. And why I still think that we probably haven't actually finished this this correction, but we'll just get into what this looks like here as well. We'll do that bit first. So let's actually just jump down into this measurement. We're going to take this double bottom, this bullish kind of signal right here. This happened yesterday. This was about 7 o'clock last night UTC. When we pull this up to this measurement, actually you could say that that's actually complete. This is going to be really, really close. Let's go ahead and just check it. Because if that is the case, then we're actually on a different direction than I first thought just by looking at it at the top level. And so I'll pop that there. That's not right. Let me move it over to... Yeah, no, it would be there. Okay, and that one is right on there. Okay, so it's a little short. That makes this not complete then, and I still think we're in a 4th wave correction. With crypto, we have to be a little bit lenient. This is very, very close, right? So we've got a couple of options, and the fact that we've gone right now higher than this point, we could say that that might actually be denoted as a complete move, right? Because we are not as liquid as the Dow Jones. It's really hard to kind of take every single measurement as an absolute. We do have to have a little bit of wiggle room. There's a few rules that I have to stick to, specifically wave 4 can't cross wave 1, and wave 3 has to be a certain percentage higher than wave 1. Wave 3 is not allowed to be the shortest wave. All these kind of fundamental stuff has to be there. But then some of these measurements on what your expectations are for certain waves, which don't have fixed kind of rules associated with them, we have to be a little bit lenient. That gives me a little bit of hope. Okay, so this is a little bit of hope here for XRP. Okay, so we'll just take that as hopium for now, but understand that it's also possible that actually this might be that we're in some kind of corrective state that actually has to come back down anyway and eventually hit these levels. So we'll just watch that. Now, the main thing that we want to watch for on this directional move up is to cross this wave 1 low point, right? That comes in at 80.41 cent, okay? So 8041. If we can go higher than that within this move, then we invalidate the structure altogether, and we can say absolutely this must have been wave 4 and this must have been wave 5, and now we're on out of here. Okay, so I'm really watching out for 8041. That'll be the key thing to kind of watch out for. Let me just check to make sure I've got that. Yeah, that's exactly right, 80.41. Okay, so if XRP rallies past that, fantastic. We're done with the correction and we can move on, right? If we don't and we actually start to pull back down, I would be expecting 75.1 all the way down to about 74.1. Okay, there's going to be a sweet spot down there. So if that is the case, I would be expecting that kind of deeper correction. Okay, so that would actually then mark the end of this corrective state. Okay, now the thing with this, which is something that we have to understand as well, is this is on the hourly chart, right? If we come up into our daily chart here, and we are tracking a triangular pattern. Okay, and now this just looks like a triangular wedge to many, or just a wedge shape, but essentially what I've got here is A, B, C, D, and E, right? And it is possible that we are already tracking into the E wave lower. In fact, I think that is probably exactly what is going on, and in order to really understand that, I'm going to have to kind of remove I'll just see if I can do this and make it a little bit easier. So we are tracking down, right? And if this is our D wave high up here at 93 cent, then what we're having now is an E wave move down, and that E wave should be comprised of, again, another ABC. Now this is on the daily chart. There's lots of noise on the middle here of what's actually going on, and we have to kind of draw big waves and make sense of what sub waves are inside it, right? So when I was talking about this corrective structure on our hourly chart, specifically if I bring this down, so bring it in here, right? If I bring this right into this corrective structure that we've currently looked at, this big ABC move down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy this up a little bit, right? And I'll bring it all back in a second so we don't lose the overall analysis here. But if I tidy this up, we can show you that it's a big ABC, okay? And that C wave actually does have to come down lower, but it's also possible that this here is the end of it, right? 335 would mark the end of this particular corrective status. And then basically what you've got is that there. Now this move upwards, if we do cross that level that I mentioned, 80.41, essentially that's the end of this correction. And we should actually now be looking on a slightly larger scale of some kind of ABC upwards. Okay, and now this ABC upwards would be a relief rally. Okay, if we just come back into our stochastic, we can see that we're overbought on our hourly chart, but we are coming up really fast on our 4 hours, so that's going to have to come down soon as well. The 8 hours moving up, and the daily is actually all the way in the ground already, so we've got some room there. So in here, what we should be thinking, if we are in an impulsive move upwards, or an corrective move upwards, it can be 5 waves up, by the way, and then 3, then 5. There's going to be some kind of corrective pattern here, but essentially, we look for some kind of ABC move taking us up into that high A wave, and then we look for some kind of correction again, bringing us down into a B wave, and then finally we end up with this sub wave count of an ABC moving up, and all of that is basically just ABC. Okay, and if I remove all of that, right here, you end up with that structure, right? So you end up with that ABC structure going up. Then we end up with another ABC coming down, and I've spoken about this before, about this kind of 60 cent range. This is the part where I think that comes into play. Okay, and basically at that point you're correcting the weekly, you're correcting the daily, you're correcting all the different stochastic RSIs across the different time frames. But moreover, if I actually go ahead and remove all of that, what I'm actually talking about is this is a big A wave, this is a big B wave, and then they've got a big C wave coming all the way down. Okay, and that would mark the end of wave E. Okay, now wave E is it can be variable in size. It can overextend, it can be short, it could be anything. It's unpredictable. But at the end of a C wave here, within our E wave, we are going to see some kind of explosive move upwards. And we see this all the time with triangle patterns specifically. When you complete these E waves on the low side, you get an explosive move upwards, and it is usually impulsive in its nature. So when I come up into our daily chart here and I bring this back down, we start thinking about what would cause such an explosive move. Well, obviously we've got the Ripple and SEC lawsuit. All of that kind of stuff going on in the real world fundamentally. But the project is actually really, really sound. It's got a lot of adoption worldwide. And it's only the United States that the main issue is actually residing currently. But once they get clarity, which is one of the things that's going to come from this lawsuit, XRP is going to be in a position to actually flourish in the United States. So what you're going to have is this breakout. Now, obviously that lawsuit is going to compound the issue. It's going to make it potentially better. We've seen this with other cryptocurrencies such as Kick Interactive, but the climate was different at the time, admittedly, but it was classified as a security. They have to have 45 days notice before they sell it. I'll have to provide 45 days worth notice before selling Kin token. But we saw explosive gains with that, right? If I come over to my XRP watch list here, just bring up the Kin token, bring this down, right? Over here, this dotted line through the middle is the date that it was classified as a security. The 7 days that led after that, it went up by 788%. Within 167 days, it had gone up 12,000%. Okay, so the obviously the climate's different. We're pretty much tracking a bull run at the time, but this moment in time here, the 7 days after being classified as a security, absolutely went nuts, and there was nothing special about that time frame. Most cryptocurrencies were actually tracking down at that particular point in time. So when we start thinking about what XRP could do, well, XRP could absolutely skyrocket. It's got a much higher profile, and it started getting listed everywhere. Whether it's going to be classed as a security, whether it's going to be classed as something else, doesn't really generally matter. I do see this one performing incredibly well. And if we actually zoom out on this daily chart, guys, what do we have? Well, we have a big A coming up, a B wave triangle, and a C wave on the 1-to-1 ratio would put this at $9.97, which will be a fantastic end to everything that's been going on with Ripple, with the SEC, and of course XRP. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.